Welcome everybody, today we're gonna unbox the Benjamin Trail Mk1 brake barrel pistol in .177 Canadian detuned to 495 FPS. The price tag on the box is $120, but I did not pay this amount for it. I paid a little bit less even with tax included, which is 16%. I wanted one for a while, but Cabalast didn't have them anymore. So when I've seen this one on the shelf, you know what happened. In the box of the Mk1 you will find the gun itself, of course, the cocking aid, and the user manual. It comes in a decent packaging with the little foam that makes a little mess, but that's alright. I was wondering if the box was already opened by someone, but nope. The box was bubbly only because there is no place for the user manual, so that's pretty good. It is not a bad box at all. I prefer this than getting a plastic blister pack. When I first got it in my hands, my first thoughts were, dang, this thing is heavy. Sadly, my 1377 has a bunch of stuff on it, so I cannot really compare the weight, but it definitely has some weight to it. The sights are pretty good looking, but I will tell you a bit more about this later while shooting it in the basement. Here is the crossbow safety that Afro Sniper X broke on his brand new Mk2. I'm not too sure what this noise is. Maybe the sear is moving around and the dog is jumping on me right now. Thanks Benjamin, aka Crosman, aka Velocity Outdoors or something like that, for the user manual. Customize it for this pistol because usually you get the generic one, but this one included instructions to put the cocking aid on, which I needed just to make sure, you know. I don't know if it gets better over time, but it was a very tight fit. This is probably as close as you can get to having a silencer in Canada. Honestly, this is the best user manual I've seen from Crosman or Benjamin, even if this is my first Benjamin. It does show the right gun, how to assemble it with the cocking aid, and how to adjust the trigger, even though it's pretty much the same. It was a rainy day, but I still wanted to get a feel for it and see how bad the sights were out of the box. So I took a couple shots from 10 feet. The pistol is very easy to cock with the cocking aid on, but I gotta admit, finding the right hand position the first time was pretty awkward. So let's get back 10 feet and see what we can do with the cocking aid on and Crosman Premier pointed 7.4 grains. It was shooting pretty low for the distance, so I wanted to see if I could correct this with a couple of clicks. As you can tell by looking at my fingers, there is a good resistance. It is easier if you do push on the sight a little bit though. Since it is a dovetail sight, I wonder if you could put this on other guns. There is only one screw holding it in place. With that said, the pistol does have a dovetail rail on it, and you could put a red dot or a scope. But before messing with the sights too much, I wanted to see if the cocking aid was changing the point of impact. The cocking aid was kind of hard to remove, so unless it gets better, I will not try to put this on every shot, but it is pretty easy to cock anyway. So I think this confirms I will not be using this silencer or LDC looking thing, because the point of impact is drastically changed. It is also a lot more accurate without the cocking aid on, but the trigger pull is long and heavy. I had to wait a couple days for the weather to be nice enough outside. It was still very windy, but we're still gonna do it. I got a wind chain and some Crosman Premier pointed 7.4 range in a nice little padded tin from 10 meters, like this was an Olympic gun. Keep in mind I will not be using the cocking aid. The 495 FPS version is easy enough to cock without it, and the accuracy with it was disgusting. At this point I got no idea of where the point of impact will be, because I only tested it with 14 shots indoor from 10 feet, and this is 30 something feet, 10 meters. I will assume this gun has a bear trap safety, but always keep it safe and try to hold the barrel as much as you can, or you risk damaging your gun or your fingers. One thing to know about this pistol is the very long and hard trigger pulls. It really takes time to get used to. Also, to make more excuses, the wind was pushing pretty bad on the pistol itself, so it was hard to make some good shots. It was also not the best day to try to sight it in for this distance, so I did not bother trying. The pistol has really grippy grips, if you can say this, but the texture is a bit sharp and can hurt your hands if you hold it too hard, which you kind of gotta do. I eventually started to get better at it and to know where to aim with the holdover. This is not the only break barrel pistol available on the market, but this is the only one I could find tuned for Canadian market. One of the only other option I had was a Ruger Mark II by Umarex or a Buckmark, but those were out of stock or too pricey where I could get them. The thing about those models is the low velocity, and they also have a hard trigger. One thing I'd like to see is Umarex offering the 3 new break barrel pistols, which they said will produce 7.5 joules to the Canadian market, where the limit is 5.7 joule. Honestly, the wind was pushing the gun so bad on this one I was sure I was gonna miss, but did I? Little did I know the tripod almost took off. I was pretty happy to hit 3 soup cans in a row. From what I can tell yet, it is a pretty fun plinker, but it has a heavy and long trigger pull. It is very quiet, the target is making most of the noise. If you want something that is not CO2 blowback but has some feeling to it, this might be it. I finished it with a one-handed shot to see how it felt with the rather heavy trigger and long pull. I'm not sure I got the good target, but let's say I did. There's a little blooper for you guys. It was very windy. It was my first time shooting outside since last summer, if I don't count my Mk45 video. As always, thanks for watching and subscribe for more.